Well, good afternoon, dear students. A very good afternoon, each and everyone. Okay, Sandhya, Nitish, Sakshi, Riddhi, Shara. So everything is fine. You just check out. Just a few minutes before we had some sound problem. Okay, regarding that echo problem, just check it. Sandhya, everything is fine. The voice you check it out and everything. Somebody should text me whether the voice is audible, it's not echoing. Then you just text me, just message me, okay? So everything is fine. This is from your main literature reader, the louse and the mosquito. Mosquito, okay? Classic literature reader. There is one poem named The Louse and the Mosquito. Okay, audible? Okay, okay, very good. Now tomorrow, what I am going to do with you? Tomorrow I can show you the complete text, line by line I am going to teach you tomorrow. Okay, today just some discussions we'll have based on the poem, some critical analysis of the poem. Then you will be reading tonight, and tomorrow the text I will show you, and line by line I will teach you tomorrow. Okay, 2 days will take to complete the poem, or today 3 days. Okay, so today only the critical appreciation of the poem that I am going to share with you, I will discuss with you, and tomorrow the poem explanation that I will make for you. Okay, line by line I will explain, so that extract writing when it comes in the examination, then you will be able to solve it. The Louse and the Mosquito, it's a very beautiful poem, and this is the story of insects. You will find, tiny creatures, the beautiful tiny creatures, and what the lesson that we are going to learn also, that you will come to know. Okay. So you see that this is sort of it's a kind of point, which can describe you how disaster strikes the family of a hospitable house. When say hospitable house, let me check it out. I think there is some hospitable, not spelling mistake. Okay. The poem, it describes how disaster strikes the family of the hospitable louse, when she allowed the sly mosquito in king's bed where she had been living for decades, and how the mosquito, in order to fulfill his own whimsical fancies, doesn't pay any heed to her instructions, thereby bringing about her and her family's downfall. This is from your literature reader. Okay. So can anyone tell me what actually you are understanding from the first paragraph, Can anyone say me what you are understanding? This is sort of a kind of poem, see, this is a sort of poem, it can tell you about not to give shelter to any stranger. Okay. Sometimes, say, you can invite a lot of problem in your life when you are inviting such people whom you don't know their whereabouts. Did you understand? So very limited students, today. Okay, good afternoon, Srishti. Now you are coming. Okay, let's wait for a minute. Then we'll start it. I'll show you tomorrow the poem I'll teach you, and today just some questions, that can come out of that story and poem that we are going to discuss. So it gives you a message, the particular story, when you are reading the particular poem, Louse and the Mosquito, the Louse, if we discuss the character Louse, Louse, she had been living in the king's palace, over a period of decades, more than 10 years. So it has been mentioned in your text. See, when this will not be repeated, any new poem when it is taught, I am not started today, okay, tomorrow I will teach the poem, and don't think that, you are clever enough that because though you are not attending live classes, they are going to invite you a lot of trouble. I am just making it very clear that, this time, especially class 8, you will not be sent your report card. Okay, those students who are not attending the classes regularly. So, report card will not be given. If you come to school also, you won't be finding it. So it can describe you how disaster strikes the family of the hospitable louse, when they allow the sly mosquito. There is a louse living in the king's palace over a period of 30 years, might be it is mentioned in your poem that I am going to share with you tomorrow. Okay. In the king's palace she is living, and one day a sly mosquito, it came to her. Okay, and asking for shelter for a night. And the poor louse from the beginning, was denying to give the mosquito shelter over there. But when the mosquito, started begging like anything, okay, pleaded the louse, requested her to allow him to take rest for a night, and the silly louse, allowed him. And after the consequence, it was really something bad happened. Okay, the mosquito came and just did bit. Just did and just bite the king, and the king did awake from the sleeping mood. The king was about to take the nap, short sleep in the afternoon, and that time, the mosquito was so eager and impatient to drink, because the mosquito came actually to suck the blood of the king, because the king eats, every day some delicious food. So the mosquito thinks that, the blood might contain so much of vitamin, so that blood he needs to suck it, and as a result, the king finally ordered the messengers to clean the bed, and unfortunately the louse and their ancestral house, so many members were there, of louse family, they all were killed. It means that, when we do not know a person, you don't easily believe them. If you trust them easily, then surely you are going to invite problem in your life. Did you understand? So never give shelter to anyone unless and until you know them very properly. Otherwise, you are bringing ruin to your own perception. You see, is it good to be hospitable and generous? Do we need to be very in displaying this quality and not to get overboard, lest we should face the dire consequences? See, in our life also, see, whenever we are getting a lesson, then only we are correcting our mistakes. Similarly, the students, who are not attending live classes, also once they will get the shock, they will get the poor report card, then they will start again attending live classes. Now it has been noticed that many students are there who are relaxing the COVID-19 situation period. It has given them, I think they have it has brought them a very comfort zone, comfortable time. I think they are relaxing at home. So don't worry. I know that how many students basically they attend the classes. So perception, you see, is it good to be hospitable and generous? Of course, see, this is a very good nature that once you are hospitable, kind to someone else, then it is a very good part of your life. But the point can teach you that without knowing the whereabouts of someone else, then you should not allow the person to stay with you or come near you. This is the message. Tomorrow when I am teaching you line by line, then you will be able to understand. Okay, just a brief summary, just I am giving you so that it will be helpful for you to understand the poem tonight. You read the poem, so the hint you are getting here right now in this period, so that when you are reading alone also, then you will be able to understand. So is it good to be hospitable and generous? When you are becoming kind to people, sympathetic to people, then people will be very happy. But don't be swept away by sweet tongue of others. Many are there, who can use their sweet tongue. They can try to tempt you, They can try to tempt you. They will motivate you, and you will be easily swept away by their words. And it can create problem. And it happened to the louse. If the louse had not allowed the mosquito in the poem, then herself and her family may not have been at stake. They were at stake when the king ordered the messengers to clean the bedroom, then the house, the louse, and the whole family members, they were residing over there, and they all were killed. It happened only because of a silly wit. Did you understand? Do we need to be very displaying this quality and not get overboard lest we should face the dire consequences? And people don't really get the lesson until they find the dire consequences in life. When that situation is not created in your life, then you are not going to understand it. Once you are getting a shock in your life, you are getting a lesson in your life, then you find the ways to correct your life. So before, you don't think at all. So look before you live. Before you act something or before you are going to perform something, you just first study yourself, look yourself, try to understand the consequence, then you act accordingly. So look before you live. Just give a slight thought, when people say you or ask you to do something, you just give a slight thought over it. Then you proceed. Blindly don't do anything. Did you understand? Blindly if you do, then you will face the similar problem like the louse. And especially, for women, the girls are very sensitive, and they become just, emotional, When somebody, cries before them, then they will just become emotional, and they will allow that. So this is very wrong, Take the wrong decision in your life, take the bold decision, don't be swept away by simple, emotions and sentiment, because it can create problem in your life. Somebody comes to you, somebody cries before you, then you allow them. Then you will be in trouble, I am telling you. There is a Sanskrit, in Sanskrit you might have heard that, Agyata Kolasilasya Vasonadeya, something, there is one sloka. Did you understand? There is one sloka in Sanskrit, you might have perhaps read it. Agyata Kolasilasya Vasonadeya. Did you understand? So when we do not know a person, especially don't believe in strangers. Okay, many are there who can take assistance from you, or they can take help from you. Okay, you help them, but to some extent. Never allow them to enter your life. Don't become closer to those people whom you don't know. Did you understand? If you know them very properly, you have read their mentality, then you allow them to enter into your life. Otherwise, these people I am telling you, they are very cruel. They will surely create some problem and you will be in trouble finally. And you won't be able to get rid of that. Through this poem, this is written by Vikram Seth. And he is such a great writer, and poet, who writes, a lot of poems and story, related to animals, and insects. So beautiful description it is given here, that how the generosity and casual approach of the lady louse led to her and her family's decadence, means destruction. This is all about. Casual approach, don't bring, you should not have any casual approach to anyone else. Somebody said and you obey it. Don't believe it. Or don't believe him or her. And don't become so much generous also. Don't try to show your generosity. When it needs, then you show it. The lady louse became so generous and kind and allowed the mosquito to enter the king's palace. And you see the consequence what happened. Now everything you will be able to understand in the poem what is meant by ancestral house, who lived there. Ancestral house means so many generations of louse, they had been living in the king's palace over a period of 30 years. In the king's palace, And up to 30 years, the king was not able to understand, that they have already made their own house in the king's palace. And who lived there? The louse and their ancestors. Explain growing plump and smooth and white. These all lines you will find in the poem. Plump means they are sucking the blood of the king and they are getting so stout and smooth and their cheek is so white, see, dazzling. Some sort of brightness coming on their face. Louse and the family members, because they are every day sucking the blood of the king. Okay. How was lives? Gentle lives, disturb, gentle lives, disturb, the louse and the other family members, how they were in trouble, how their smooth life it was disturbed when mosquito entered their life. Why did the lady louse give in to serve mosquitoes' tears? What excuse did he give to be allowed in? What advice did the lady louse give him? Why could not he listen to her suggestion? See, all these are the things, that we are going to discuss, in the poem tomorrow, because line by line I am going to teach you, and this is a very beautiful poem. If you are not attending and extract comes, then you won't be able to write anything, because a certain line, that descriptions I will just give you and explain the particular line, and attend the live classes, sincerely. Don't be so casual, Teachers are taking a lot of effort, and see, every day some sort of, knowledge you will gain, when you are attending live classes. It can be any class. Many students are striving hard, to get online classes, get access into online classes, but you see that the best platform you have, but you are not trying to make the right usage of that. That is why I get really very angry. Teachers are taking a lot of effort for you. Online classes are going on here, very smoothly, Any lesson, any poem, whatever the subject may be, you try to get the most. Don't think that, I am knowledgeable, I know everything, I am Mr. Know-all, or I miss know-all, I miss know-all. No. Nobody is perfect. If you were like that, then you could have scored 30 out of 30 in English. And don't think that literature person, this time, I became a little bit casual in checking your paper regarding your literature. Last time, really, line by line I have to read. It will take a lot of trouble, but I have to do it, and accordingly will be given marks. Many students are thinking that English is very easy. The most difficult subject is English, because literature subject you won't get marks. If it is checked thoroughly, you won't get marks, because it depends on your language, how you are interpreting, how you are writing. Don't think that the teacher is teaching and the same thing I have to write. No. Literature is something you can explain, or you can write it in your own way also. Today I am not teaching you the poem, just a few discussions I am having with you, so that you will get some idea, so that today you can sit with the poem, you read out it, tomorrow come prepare, so that we can explain the rhyming scheme, other devices also which are used in the poem, and the poem line by line explanation that we will make tomorrow. Only I am discussing a few things today, just to make you familiar with the poem. The Laos clan had to bear the repercussions. Did it anyway affect the mosquito? Analysis, you see the underlining message in the story: not to be over generous. Not to be over generous. Be wary of people, creatures like mosquito. You need to be very much careful. When a family or a person achieves success, it generally doesn't go down well with others, and they start bearing for their blood, And many are there, who are climbing the success of ladder, After you, many are there, who are jealous at you. And it happens in the story. They were enjoying a very beautiful life, the Laos and the family members. But it hurt the mosquito, and he wanted to create some problem in the life of the house and the family members. The Laos and their ancestral house, all members, they were enjoying a very comfortable life in the king's palace, sucking the blood of the king. It was containing a lot of vitamins. But the mosquito didn't tolerate this, and finally requested the Laos, started begging before her to allow him to enter the king's palace and to spend a night. But at last what happened? You see the consequence. Okay, so we have to understand the nature of the people, then characteristics, traits of the Laos and the mosquito, style and technique of Vikram said in this fable, Okay, what would you have done if you were the Laos, Suppose you were the Laos and you allowed, Some students, like the Laos also are behaving. Okay, if you behave like the Laos, then you will suffer in your life. Okay, so we have to understand, we have to identify the problem, we have to rectify, means we have to go on while proceeding, or while going to do any work. When you are going to do any work, then you first of all know it, identify the nature of the work, everything, then you start working. Okay, without understanding, simply don't do anything. Clear? So tomorrow I will teach you the poem line by line, and tomorrow anyone is absent-minded or not attending tomorrow, the poem will be taught. Based on your attendance, I will just provide the report card, both A and B section. Tomorrow, based on the attendance, you will be given the report card. Otherwise, forget that you are getting your report card, because we are collecting each and every subject mark. Really, I won't provide you the report card, both the sections. Tomorrow, based on your attendance, I will just share it. Because after 2 to 3 days, we are going to share the report card with you also. Exam which you have already attended in online second examination, that marks will be distributed. So that you won't get if you do not attend henceforth live classes seriously. All the subjects, and especially tomorrow I will observe my class. So thank you very much today. You read it today, come prepared. Tomorrow we'll explain in detail line by line of the poem. Thank you very much.